in humans. It was in response to this precarious situation that in early 2015, the Kolkata Marigold Social Center, the KMWSC, after conducting a baseline survey in 1,000-odd households in 10 interior-most Gram Panchayats of Canning of South 24 Parganas in West Bengal, decided to set up operations in Canning 1 block. Located about 55 kilometers from Kolkata, Canning is one of the arterial gateways to the Sundarban Islands on the border with Bangladesh and a major transit route for human trafficking. Plagued by recurring natural calamities and faced with abject poverty, the inhabitants here were forced to marry off their minor daughters, aged between 10 and 14, or send them to work in the cities as domestic help of factory labor. This was done so that the children could send money back home for the survival of the other family members and sometimes as a means to escape penury and starvation. For the last 3 years, the KMWSC has been relentlessly striving to advocate and create awareness among 8,000 plus children in the 15 government schools of Canning 1 block, in sustained campaigns on child protection issues like child marriage, child labor, child trafficking, and the effective use of Childline 1098. Block-level capacity building and consultations with self-help groups, ICDS workers was also done.
যাতে বাইরে বাঁচা না হয় তার জন্য ব্যবস্থা এবং সরকারি গাইডলাইন আছে সেখানে জানাবো এবং মাদের বাচ্চাদের বোঝাবো যে তোমাদের কোনো সমস্যা করলে তোমরা এই গাইডলাইনে সাহায্য নেবে, ফোন করবে, পঞ্চায়েতকে জানাবে এবং তোমরা আমাদেরকেও বলতে পারো। যেমন আমার মহিলাদের নিয়ে মিটিং করলাম, সবাইকে বলে দিলাম, সবাই এলাকাতে মিটিং করে জানালো, বা আমার সদস্যদের নিলাম নিয়ে পঞ্চায়েতে বসে মিটিং করলাম।
District level consultations with stakeholders from NGOs, panchayats, police and administration on anti-human trafficking initiatives and issues were also held and regular follow-up ensured. Sensitization and capacity building programs with police and correctional home officers undertaken. Street theatres, puppet shows, and auto rickshaw campaigns were purposefully carried out in prominent locations to promote awareness, disseminate information, and sensitize the local people to the perils and pitfalls of human trafficking. KMWSC has been instrumental in solving 27 cases by rescuing the victims in 20 cases of child marriages, 8 cases girls.
অফিসে গিয়ে তোমাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করার পরে আমাদের চেষ্টা করার পরে আমি আমার মেয়েটাকে উদ্ধার করে ফেলাম।
This was done in collaboration with Childline, Justice and Care, and the local police. Child tracking system has also been initiated through which adolescent peer educators have been identified and trained. These trained peer educators are group members, each of whom in turn will monitor 5 vulnerable girls from their communities based on certain key indicators.
প্রতিটা সদস্য একজন মাসের করে গার্লসকে ওরা ট্র্যাকিং করছে, প্রতিনিয়ত তাদের থেকে তথ্য আদান প্রদান করছে এবং আমাদেরকে জানাচ্ছে। এখানে প্রায় 900-র উপরে চাইল্ডকে ট্রেনিং 1 নম্বর টপিক তারা ট্র্যাকিং করেছে, তথ্য বিনিময় করছে।
KMWSC is also committed to creating model child-friendly villages or Shishu Mitra grams as micro-models of a macro vision to make a child-friendly world where every child is free from exploitation and is ensured education, recreation, and health facilities.
আমরা একটা গ্রামকে এখানে নির্বাচিত করেছি, সেটা ব্রিটিশ আবাদ আটকুটিয়া গ্রাম পঞ্চায়েতে। ওই গ্রামে আমরা শিশু মিত্র একটা গ্রাম তৈরি করে সক্রিয় হয়ে পড়েছি এবং অনেকটা কাজ শিখিয়েছি। ওই এলাকার যত শিশু 0 থেকে 18 বছর পর্যন্ত সমস্ত শিশুর তথ্য আমরা নিয়েছি। এই এলাকা থেকে যাতে বাধা না হয়ে যায়, ওই এলাকার পঞ্চায়েতের সাথে আমরা একটা হ্যান্ডওভারিং করেছি। এখানে একটা খাতা তৈরি আছে, তাদের জন্য বাইরে যাওয়ার প্রয়োজন মনে করছি, সেখানে কিন্তু তাকে পঞ্চায়েতে নাম নথিভুক্ত করতে হচ্ছে। তার সাথে সেখান থেকে কাজে যাবে, কোন কাজে যাবে, কত দিনের জন্য যাবে, সেই তথ্য সেখানে রেকর্ডিং করতে হচ্ছে।
The uniqueness of the Child-Friendly Village initiative lies in active participation of the children themselves, a legitimate democratic space for themselves in the panchayats, communities, schools, and families. Education is the main key to prevention of child marriage and trafficking and empowerment of girls in the community. Victims, as well as girls at risk, to overcome economic vulnerability is also trades that will support these young girls financially. It is a training skill which has till now empowered 122 young women. One course teaches the candidates basic stitching skills. Training in making paper bags was imparted to 270 women, which included vulnerable women and victims of human trafficking. For sustainable change, the girls and their families are being linked to government schemes and services, such as the West Bengal Chief Minister's globally acclaimed project for the girl child, called Nasri Prokolpo, the National Rural Livelihood Mission, and schemes for women's self-help groups. This first ever international conference on anti-human trafficking in Kolkata is yet another relentless endeavor to SC to bring together some of the finest minds from 15 countries working in the field. Together, they will share, deliberate, brainstorm, forge alliances, and move forward as collaborators on a common goal to fight this all-pervasive social evil. Our work is not accomplished until every child is in school, secure and happy in a child-friendly environment, daring to dream with determination and grit. We have miles to go before we sleep. morning and welcome here into practice. Welcome everyone present with us here today, both in person and in spirit. We extend a very warm welcome from the different corners of the world who are watching this ceremony through our live streaming. For a two-day conference to address a serious global issue, which is human trafficking. The United Nations defines human trafficking as a serious crime and a grave violation of human rights. Almost every country in the world is affected by trafficking, country of origin, transit, or destination for victims. Human trafficking has become a worldwide activity, and it is only in recent years that the general public is becoming aware of it. It is the third most profitable worldwide criminal enterprise after the illegal arms trade and drugs. Maryward Social Center, the KMWSC, and the Darjeeling Maryward Social Center, the DMWSC, are the Loreto Resource and Development Centers for social change. The vision of KMWSC and DMWSC are the values of love, sincerity, and justice are experienced and lived out by all. To stop human trafficking, it is first essential to understand the true nature of the economic model behind human trafficking that we are seeking to disrupt. Who is making money and out of whom? Where are the leverage points? What is the nature of the demand? What kind of interventions are likely to work? Without clarity of purpose and clear time frames, effective action will not be possible. The fair and all-inclusive approach adopted by the KMWSC and the DMWSC brings the stakeholders and the community under one umbrella. This pattern is a key component which synchronizes with the tool to combat trafficking in persons. I would now like to request Sister Monica Suchian, the Director of the Kolkata Maryward Social Center, for her words of welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Hasu. I am a bit nervous, but first and foremost, I would like to thank God for this beautiful day and looking at this capacity of 270 people sitting in this room, and I'm really grateful to God. Thank you. On behalf of Sister Anita Maria Briganza, our province leader of Loreto, South Asia, and president of Darjeeling and Kolkata Maryward Social Center, and on behalf of the Loreto congregation all over the world, it is my privilege to welcome one of you to this two-day conference on human trafficking. I feel gratified to see the hall filled with guests committed to challenge this ever-prevalent global problem. From its inception, the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, commonly known as Loreto, has been involved in this important mission of empowering girls and women to lead in homes or in public life. The Institute was founded by an English lady, Mary Ward, over 400 years ago. Later, in 1841, Sister Delphine Hart, with a small band of 12 sisters in their early 20s, landed at Babughat, Kolkata, to set up their first mission in Kolkata. Incidentally, Loreto is currently celebrating 175 years of our presence in India. The members of the Loreto Foundation, the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, an international and multicultural congregation of women religious, have pledged to work for the eradication of all forms of human trafficking and its causes. The decision was taken at the General Congregation held in Spain in September 2014. I quote, "We cannot overlook the fact that human trafficking exists in all places where the Loreto sisters are working. The members, associates, and co-workers of the congregation are adopting all possible means to eradicate human trafficking." End quote. The members, associates, adopting all possible means to eradicate human trafficking through education, advocacy, prevention, and prayer. And we are still learning and educating ourselves by raising awareness with the help of our collaborators in our work. Both the social centers are relentlessly striving to reach out to the vulnerable and be there for those who are unattended and living on the fringes of the society. The centers work closely with the women and child protection issues, providing education and protection to children who are vulnerable, training teachers for education and skill development. You, our honorable guests, have come here today from far and wide, and I am deeply moved by your presence. Yes, there is an enormous wealth of knowledge and expertise assembled here this morning. Let's make the most use of it. The aim of this conference is to exchange ideas, how to help women, children, and men who are victims of this crime. No violence against women and children is justified, and children can be prevented. ILO reports of 2014, over 4.5 million individuals worldwide are victims of forced commercial sexual exploitation. Human trafficking earns a profit of roughly $150 billion annually for traffickers, and $99 billion of that is from commercial sexual exploitation. How do we prevent it from happening day in and day out in every corner of the globe? That is why we are here today. We are here today not to remind each other of how bad the situation is, but to think of ways on how to eradicate violence against children and women. The Global Slavery Index of 2016 estimates that 45.8 million individuals are involved in some form of modern slavery. 18 million people are living in conditions of modern slavery in India. We are here for 2 days, but this is definitely not the end of our intervention and introduction. It is but a small beginning. The time is right to collectively share our knowledge Let us rekindle our relationships and forge new alliances for the sake of the cause. Remember, renew, reimage is the motto of Loreto. Every girl child touched by Loreto has been empowered through education. We have embarked on this journey begun by Mary Ward, our founder. She had struggled during her days, and today we bear the fruits of her struggle. We remember her and render all her service in her name. With her in mind, we shape ourselves according to the need of the time in the 21st century and renew ourselves with strength and vigor. We wake up with a new lease of life each day to a new evolved self we re-image. We continue on this journey begun by Mary Ward. Let's join hands and collaborate to carry her legacy forward with the empowerment of women and children. May God endeavor us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Monica. We would now like to invite on stage Sister Anita Maria Braganza, the province leader of Loreto, South Asia, and president of KMWSC and DMWSC, Ms. Ananya Chakraborty, chairperson of the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights, and Mr. Samir Baptist from Justice and Care to kindly join us on stage to welcome the invited dignitaries to the dais and join in the felicitation ceremony. I would first like to welcome on stage His Grace, Archbishop from Victoria, Archbishop of the Kolkata Diocese. And I would request Sister Anita Maria Braganza to felicitate His Grace. We regret the absence of Ms. Tuti Kakkar, the chairperson of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Ms. Kakkar, the chairperson of the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Mrs. Ananya Chakraborty, will later during the program read out a message. To welcome on stage Mr. Bruce Bucknell, the British Deputy High Commissioner in Kolkata. Mr. Baptist of Justice and Care, Mr. Bruce Bucknell. I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Sanjay Bhutia, the Honorary Consul of the Malaysian Honorary Consulate in Kolkata, and I would request Mrs. Ananya Chakraborty to felicitate Mr. Bhutia.
We just got a message that he will be coming at the closing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Bhutia will be coming for the closing ceremony and he is not coming in this morning. I would like to welcome on stage Mr. B.N. Jamal Hussain, the Consular, Deputy High Commission of the People's Republic of Bangladesh in Kolkata. And I would request Sister Anita Maria Braganza to felicitate Mr. B.N. Jamal Hussain. I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Gautam Dey, the Regional Director of the Rabindranath Tagore Center, IITC at Kolkata. The Rabindranath Tagore Center is the venue partner for this two-day conference on anti-women trafficking. I would like to felicitate Mr. Gautam Dey. I would like to welcome on stage Sister Judith Ricasa, Sister Brenda Egan, and Sister Macarena Fernandez, the three general consultants of the IDDM. They are in the IDDM General Leadership Team currently in Rome. They represent the office of Sister Noela Koskaren here. I would request Ms. Anurna Chakraborty to felicitate Sister Mikasa, Sister Egan, and Sister Fernandez. We would like to welcome Ms. Sandra Govuruntu. She is a survivor of human trafficking and domestic violence. I will request Mr. Baptist to felicitate Ms. Sandra Govuruntu. We welcome on stage Agnes, the keynote speaker of the inaugural ceremony and a women's rights lawyer. I would request Sister Anita Braganza to felicitate Ms. Flavia Agnes. I request Sister Lina Lakra, the Director of the Darjeeling Marigold Social Center, to felicitate Sister Anita Maria Braganza, the Province Leader of Loreto South Asia and the President of KMWSC and DMWSC. I request Sister Monica Suchiang, the Director of the KMWSC, to felicitate Mrs. Anurna Chakraborty. It's an underreported issue that affects at least 20.9 million people across the globe every year. This conference is a call for global unity to fight this trafficking. Our formal inauguration ceremony today is not by the traditional lighting of the lamp, but by an innovative ritual. A woman is a maker, a preserver, and the everlasting source of kindness. The honorable members of the dais will put together the parts of a jigsaw puzzle to give it shape and infuse life in it. We will start the inauguration ceremony with prayers. I now invite our members on the dais to solemnize this ceremony. And may I request His Grace, Archbishop Thomas D'Souza, to lead us in prayer.
Merciful and loving Creator, we have gathered together to hold in prayer those whom you cherish, but who are bound by the trauma of these children, with our sight among us, are clothed in fear-filled silence and are victims of trauma, unable to break free. Can we open our eyes and our hearts to these persons who are trafficked in our midst?
Those caught in the horror of trafficking are missing persons. Some missing for years. Some have been discovered in graves. Some have bodies that are diseased, mutilated, tortured. That are damaged. Many of these women and men are missing in multiple ways, but are in harmony.
May we all act with blessings rather than condemnation towards our sisters and brothers who are trafficked and help to create a tomorrow and justice. May these persons who are trafficked feel included rather than excluded in societies worldwide.
May they experience renewing opportunities, hear a strong voice for justice, and witness courageous actions against trafficking.
For law enforcement and their wisdom to recognize situations of forced labor and sexual slavery, while working to protect its victims and punish its perpetrators. For the media, that they will make awareness raising of the problem of human trafficking a priority.
For social service providers, that God will grant them the strength and continued commitment to help survivors of human trafficking and support them on their path to wholeness. Victors of slavery, that they repent of their evil ways. For survivors of slavery, that God guide them to a path down which they might find holiness and peace. For all of us here, that we may be encouraged and support to lead people in building a culture that respects human dignity. As the mascot is unveiled, I request Sister Anita Maria Braganza to say the concluding prayer. God of freedom, beauty, we believe that your deepest desire into abundant life. We raise our voices in anguished prayer, and drawings, women and girls, men and boys who are modern-day slaves. They are your beloved daughters and sons, sexually or forced to work because of human violence and greed. May we be abundantly blessed with mercy and love for all, inspired by our Creator of mercy and love. The mascot has been unveiled. She speaks to us. Conceive the earth in me. I grace, I nurture. I am the angel ward. The songbird spreads its flight of fantasy across my bosom. I coo. I am in you. I move in dormitory. I am the first cry, the first kiss. My faith and love in you empowers you. I seek you. She is the immortal figure present in all of us, and we seek her. She is someone who has control over her mind, body, and soul. Who has the voice to be someone who lives with passion, intention, and awareness every day. Someone who is responsible and accountable for her choices and actions. I would now like to request Sister Anita Maria Braganza, the province leader of Loreto, South Asia, and president of and DFWSC, to come to the podium and announce officially the opening of the International Conference on Anti-Human Trafficking, Theory to Practice 2017.
It's my pleasure to officially inform you that this conference on anti-human trafficking for the next 2 days is officially opened.
Thank you, Sister Braganza. Over the last 3 years, the Kolkata Marywalk Social Center has worked relentlessly in Canning 1 block and the Sundarbans region to create awareness about the undetected menace of human trafficking. The Best Practices Manual is an effort to record and acknowledge the positive actions undertaken by the Social Center in preventing and combating human trafficking. It will be an inspiration and model for all stakeholders to intensify their efforts in responding to human trafficking through cooperation. It is hoped that this manual will highlight the kind of measures that has been undertaken by the organization to successfully implement the convention direction in their efforts. I would now like to welcome Ms. Maria Linas, International Spain, on stage. She is the director of Marywalk International Spain. Ms. Linas has spent her life with the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary. A student, then as a member, and now as a worker. She is an activist, feminist, and holds a master's degree in gender and development, stated by Ms. Nilanjana Sharma of the Kolkata Marywalk Social Center. Marywalk International Spain and the Kolkata Marywalk Social Center have had a very long association, and we are grateful to them for their support in the anti-human trafficking program over the years. I would request Ms. Linas to share a few words with us.
Good morning. As a member of Marywalk International Network, Spain are proud to share the work that our companions of Kolkata Marywalk Social Center is doing in terms of eradicate trafficking. We learn about trafficking by them and well done work. Monica and her team has been demonstrating for 3 years a team prepared to work in preventing trafficking and that they are efficient since they obtain good results with the basic resources. We are united by the same purpose of protecting the rights of women and children. So, of course, we will continue supporting the fabulous work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Linas. We will now request all the dignitaries on the dais to come forward with Sister Monica Suchian and Sister Lina Lakra for the book launch ceremony, the launch of the Best Practices Manual. The book is called Sensitization on Anti-Human Trafficking Project, Interventions in how 24/24 addresses learning and good practices. Raise the book up so that everybody can see it. Everyone in the audience to collect the best practices manual after the inauguration ceremony from the track register. Before we proceed to the next segment, I would request our appreciation to the members on the dance. Thank you, Sister Lavra and Sister Suchian. Of our people by literally grinding poverty, illiteracy, or modern day slavery. Loretto is dedicated to the service of these marginalized sisters and brothers, reaching out to them through their several projects and services, West Bengal, and neighboring states of Bihar, Jharkhand, and Odisha. Loretto seeks to empower them through education, creation of opportunity, support systems, and justice. Invite Thomas D'Souza, Archbishop of the Calcutta Archdiocese and member of the Commission for Education of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, to share his thoughts with us.
Dear Sister Anita Braganza, province leader of the Loreto Sisters, Sister Monica Suchian, Director of Kolkata Mary Ward Social Center, all dignitaries on the dais, and all guests and friends present in the audience. A privilege this morning and to participate in the proceedings of this august gathering, very specially convened to reflect on what can be done regarding this crime that affects humanity, namely trafficking, human trafficking. Ever since the Loreto sisters, the first group of 12, arrived in Kolkata on the 30th of December 1841, that was the beginning of a new and very important chapter, not only for the Loreto sisters, but through them to generations of women of Kolkata and around. They were convinced that education alone and a holistic education alone would empower women to fight against social evils and empower them to be contributors not only to common good, but very especially to families and welfare of women in general. Since 1841, all those who have passed through the portals of Loreto House and their other institutions in the city and elsewhere have borne witness to the fact that empowered all women who were molded by Loreto sisters and the education system. Well, that was one dream come true, and it's taken a number of years, as you know, 175, and what beautiful work has been done, for which we thank God, and we thank the Loreto sisters of that time and the present ones, and all those who have gone through these years, carrying on that mission. A new dream has come to take notice of what's happening around, different to a situation that calls attention of all, namely to do something about this crime about which we have been hearing ever since we arrived here, and we knew even before, namely human trafficking. Concentrating on trafficking of women, young girls, young boys, the Loreto sisters have ventured into realizing yet another dream, namely to free all those in the slavery of trafficking. The very fact that all of you have come here to contribute to the discussions, to share your insights, to give your suggestions is already a great step forward. Coming together and being aware of what's happening, especially regarding this great evil, is already the first step that has been taken. I want to congratulate Sister Anita, Sister Monica, and the entire team of Kolkata Mary Ward Social Service Center, as well as the Darjeeling Mary Ward Social Service Center, for having taken these initiatives in the area of combating this crime. After coming together, after sharing, we all know that our sisters are not alone. And that itself is a sign of encouragement and support. When we see the number of NGOs working for the common cause namely anti-trafficking, that need constant contact, that itself is a sign that people coming together for a common cause can achieve much. And that, I feel, is what is happening here today. Coming to know that so many others are working together for the same cause and work together in the future to achieve better and greater results is already a very good beginning and already an advancement. Thank God, the initiative taken by our sisters in have experience, where especially in the rural areas, as we have heard, in South Central Parganas, and they would be rendering to so many others that are in need of a similar rescue, a similar service. We want to wish our sisters, I want to wish Kolkata Mary Ward Development Social Service Center, the Darjeeling Mary Ward Social Service Center, and all those who are engaged in this noble task of fighting against trafficking, God's abundant blessings and many successes in the years ahead. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Your Grace. The Regional Director of the Rabindranath Tagore Center, ICCF Kolkata, Mr. Gautam Jain, will be leaving now as he has a prior appointment. Kolkata Medical Darjeeling Medical Social Center, I would once again like to thank you very much for being the planning partner of the conference. Thank you, Mr. Jain. Sister Anita Maria Braganza is the province leader of the Loreto South Asia and the president of the KMWSC and DNWSC. A principal in different Loreto schools across the country. She holds a master's degree in psychology and counseling and is a profound musician. She loves interacting with children. Sister Anita Maria Braganza to the gathering. Before I start, I feel quite nervous being here because I'm just a teacher. And there are experts here in the field of trafficking who are doing so much. But it's really a privilege for me to be a part of this dream, a part of the efforts to alleviate human suffering, particularly that of women and children and boys as well. Sisters of Kolkata, members of our leadership team from Rome, Sisters Brenda, Judith and Macarena, our friends and collaborators from the different embassies and consulates, guest speakers present in this auditorium. Thank you for invitation of King to take time to share knowledge and experience on a subject that concerns us all, because even if one human being is not allowed to live and flourish as a free person, as someone who is created in the image and likeness of God, we too are in bondage, as we are all connected in the amazing web of life. It is significant that today, the 25th of November, is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and the beginning of the annual 16 Days of Activism on 10th December, which is Human Rights Day. It seems appropriate then to draw your attention to a few statistics related to the concern that we are here to draw as it with violence against women
girls. In all probability, numbers. So do bear with me if this is old, bad news for you. Globally, human trafficking is the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world. This is as per the Polaris Project. 800,000 people, 80% women, are trafficked internationally every year. This is as per the 2014 US Trafficking in Person report. According to the 2015 State Department Trafficking in Persons report, there were only 10,051 prosecutions and 4,443 convictions for trafficking globally in 2014. And this is as per the 2014 US TIP report. 75% to 77% victims enter the sex trade through trafficking. This is a report supported by the Department of Women and Child Development, Government of India. Only 0.15%, that is 1 in every 700 victims, are ever identified. This is once again a US TIP report. Of the 8,132 such cases registered across the country last year, 3,576 were from West Bengal and 1,422 from Rajasthan. This is as per government officials. By Gujarat, where 548 such cases were reported last year, and reported 517 cases. Given these statistics, it seems even more urgent and compelling. Funds are created to raise awareness as well as to act on this burning issue. In 2014, as Sister Monica also mentioned in her address, during the General Congregation meeting of the Loreto Sisters, 48 Loreto Sisters representing their particular province from around the world, and reflection on the current realities of the world, took a corporate stance on human trafficking, issuing a statement that reads, and I quote, "As members of the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Loreto, an international and multicultural congregation of women religious, we pledge to work for the eradication of all forms of human trafficking and its causes, particularly among women and children, wherever we live and minister." Unquote. Loreto sisters around the world and at the United Nations have been responding to this issue for many years. On anti-human trafficking has great work of women and children in particular for the last 175 years. For its role in promoting sound education, education that puts its students on their feet, encouraging them to make a difference wherever they are, while continuing in its contribution to formal education, particularly in promoting inclusive education. Loreto continues to remain been done other than the work here by use of edge of rainbow home and future. Now spread pan India, 1,000 children our sisters. By organizing this part of Loreto's 175 years of service, the digital legal is involving itself in areas
and Tanzania. She has been the youth animator and vocation promoter in the schools. We invite Sister Judith Mekasa to address the gathering. Sister Judith will be speaking on behalf of Sister Nuera Oscaden, the General Superior of the Loreto Congregation. Sister Judith Mekasa.
Your Grace, the Archbishop Thomas D'Souza, Sister Anita Brangaza, the province leader, South Asia Province, and President, the Calcutta and Darjeeling Railroad Social Center, Chang, the director of Calcutta Railroad Social Center, and her wonderful team, invited guests, dignitaries present, all protocol. On behalf of Sister Noel Oskaden, the General Leader of the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, to be here today with us, but sends greetings. I most sincerely welcome you all to this gathering today. Allow me to start work being done by the Calcutta Main Ward Social Center to combat this epidemic called human trafficking. In doing this, in responding to 2014 General Chapter call, as already said, that is to go where the need is greatest. You will all agree with me that fight against human trafficking is a crucial and worthwhile effort in our endeavor to restore the human dignity in society today. In reaching out to a people exploited cannot therefore be underrated. So, thank you very much. Again, as one said, chapter of 2014, members of the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary work for the eradication of all forms of human trafficking and its causes among women and children wherever we live and minister. We sincerely are grateful to Calcutta Mary Ward Center for taking up this initiative on our behalf. Dear members, human trafficking is a trade of humans, most commonly done for the purpose of sexual slavery, forced or commercial sexual exploitation for the traffickers or for others. This is according to the context of forced marriage or extraction of organs or tissue, including surrogacy and ovule removal. Human trafficking has been found to occur within a country. Human trafficking is a crime against the person, violation of the victim's rights of movement through coercion and because of their commercial exploitation. Human trafficking is a trade between people and does not necessarily involve the movement of the person from one place to another. Pope Francis, on the 12th of December 2013, while addressing a group of ambassadors on human trafficking, emphasized, "It is a disgrace that persons are treated as objects, deceived, often sold many times, and killed, or in any case, physically and mentally damaged, discarded, and abandoned. End of quote. Many statistics have been given, and I would just like to mention maybe two from the International Labour Organization reveal the following facts, of which most of us know. Labor, which is just one component of human trafficking, generates an estimated 150 billion US dollars in profit per annum, and this was as of 2014. And in 2012, it was estimated that 21 million victims are trapped in modern day slavery. Of these, 14.2 million, that is 68%, were exploited for labor, and 4.5 million, that is 22%, were sexually exploited, and 2.2 million, which is equivalent to 10%, were exploited in state-imposed forced labor. Human trafficking is thought to be one of the most fastest-growing activities of transnational criminal organizations. Human trafficking is condemned as a violation of human rights by international conventions. Here in India, I would like to appreciate the effort of the government that trafficking in persons for commercial sexual exploitation, forced labor, forced marriages, and domestic servitude is considered an organized crime. The government has tried, India applies the Criminal Law Amended Act of 2013, which became active on the 3rd of February the same year, and as well as some sections of 370 and 370A IPC, which defines human trafficking and provides stringent punishment for human trafficking. Additionally, a regional task force implements the SAC Convention on the Prevention of Trafficking in Women and Children. On the 5th March 2014, again, Pope Francis clearly and painfully puts it, I quote, "It is not possible to remain indifferent before the knowledge that human beings are being bought and sold like goods." Following this call from Pope Francis, in December 2014, for the first time in history, major leaders of many religions, Anglicans, Catholic, and Orthodox Christians, Hindu, Jewish, and Muslim, met to sign a shared commitment against modern-day slavery. The declaration they signed calls for a practical action for elimination of slavery and human trafficking by the year 2020. We must, however, remain vigilant to all these happenings around the globe, as they have potential to stir up threats and violence from many sources, including customers, the pimps, brothel owners, the madams, traffickers, and corrupt local law enforcement officials. Raids as a sex trafficking measure severely impacts sex trafficked victims because of their complicated legal status, language barriers, the arrest of fear, and other emotional and violence from law enforcement during these raids. Besides, trafficked victims are exposed to different psychological stresses, social alienation in their host and home countries. Given the stigmatization, social exclusion, and intolerance that follow, into local communities has been made difficult. Sometimes it is a pity that most governments offer little assistance and social services to trafficked victims upon their return. As victims are also pushed into drug trafficking, many of them face criminal sanctions as well. Human trafficking is a reality that has to be confronted in all fronts, but above all, by the family. One is either infected or affected. It is for this purpose that we find time together in this conference, united in one purpose, and that is liberation of human persons from modern slavery and restoration of their lost dignity. This is something which is at the heart of our mission, apostolate, and response to the gospel message, that is to be each other's keeper. We must unite our efforts. We need to call it by its name as a modern slavery by all means we can, in all sectors of our society. And our presence here today is in itself a testimony to the fact that we are committed to this cause as child agents. We are part of the human family, and so we too are not exempted from this reality, because it is right at our doors. The spirit within, we will discover that encounter in our pastoral outreach and discernment processes with others are people crying to be set free from where the world has trapped them in human body. Our conference is basically geared towards praying ardently for genuine transformation. Make actors of this inhuman act may begin to experience true conversion, to be life givers. As one sage would say, if you are not part of the problem, then you should be part of the solution. We are here to put our heads together for a common and good cause. Let us not forget that has no boundaries, and it is a global security threat affecting theological, economical, political, anthropological, and social spheres of life. It requires close collaboration, renewed spirit, and proper discernment approach in the greatest mission mandate as signs of the times demand in our precarious global environment of uncertainties. Voice that corresponds to our country's realities, shouting out for those in bondage across the valleys of darkness and death to hear us out, so that they don't give up hope, that we don't become silent or become indifferent in these issues, but play the leading role of advocating for the eradication of this inhuman humanity. Finally, my prayer is that may we find the strength and energy in each other at this conference to sojourn on, for together we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Sisters Judith Lekasa. Again, I thank all the young members in the audience to kindly sit. There are still many people waiting outside and they are not. We have never seen such a crowd here. And I think we are not competent to handle it, so may I request the members of Justice and Care to kindly handle it. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Ms. Tuti Kakkar is a 1978 batch IAS officer and the chairperson of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. She retired as Secretary, Department of Disability Affairs, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. She has also been the head of the Management Committee of CARA, the Central Adoption Resource Authority. Unfortunately, Ms. Kakkar is not present with us today, but she has sent her message, which will be shared with us by Ms. Omana Chakraborty. I was in Delhi yesterday when I met Ms. Kakkar and she expressed a regret that she couldn't come because she's not well, but she sent a message which I'm reading out for you. I'm grateful for the invitation from Kolkata Mary Ward Social Center, Kolkata, to join you all on this important occasion when we are discussing the important issue of trafficking of human beings. At the outset, please accept my best wishes for finding solutions to this heinous crime against humanity and rapidly spreading its tentacles in almost all countries due to the vulnerabilities of people. Unfortunately, I'm unable to be with you all today, even though I was keen to reconnect to my school years spent in St. Mary's, Allahabad, whose guiding spirit was Mary Ward, a remarkable person who influenced so many minds to do good for humanity. This conference is a befitting tribute to her. Trafficking of human and children is an organized crime which violates all tenets of human dignity and rights. Under the Indian Constitution. Article 23 declares slave trade, prostitution, and human trafficking as a punishable offense. Section 370 of IPC defines trafficking of persons as whoever, for the purpose of exploitation, recruits, transports, harbors, transfers, or receives a person or persons by using threats or using force or any other form of coercion or by abduction, fraud, or deception, power, and in order to achieve the consent of any person, having control over the person recruited, transported, harbored, transferred, or received, commits the offense of trafficking. Further, the expression exploitation shall include any act of physical exploitation in form of sexual exploitation, slavery, or practices similar to slavery, servitude, or the forced removal of organs. Further, the consent of the victim is immaterial in determination of the offense of trafficking. Also, whoever commits the offense of trafficking shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 7 years, but which may extend to 10 years, and shall also be liable to fine. But where the offense involves the trafficking of a minor, it shall be punishable with rigorous imprisonment for a term not less than 10 years.
but which may extend to imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to fine where the offence involves the trafficking of more than one minor. It shall be punishable with rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 14 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to fine. Further, if a person is convicted of the offence of trafficking of minor on more than one occasion, then such person shall be punished with imprisonment for life, which shall mean imprisonment for the remainder of that person's natural life, and shall also be liable to fine. PA also states that whoever knowingly traffics a minor, engages such minor for sexual exploitation in any manner, imprisonment less than 5 years, but which may extend and liable to fine. Child trafficking can be understood as the process of illegally transporting, transferring, or harboring a person below the age of 18 years. Exploitation, both physical and sexual, as these children are used for prostitution, forced marriages, illegal adoptions, and cheap or unpaid labor, etc., within or outside the country. Trafficking does not only occur in cases of girls, but even boys are trafficked as bonded or child labor in most cases. The 2015 NCRT data suggests that a total of 9,104 children were trafficked in 2015, which is 27% increase over 2014. India experiences trafficking both within the country and cross-border trafficking. Estimates indicate that of human trafficking, over 60% is of children, as children due to vulnerability are easier to intimidate and less risky due to the connivance of their care providers. The causes of global child trafficking are varied and complex, but notably include poverty, lack of opportunities, the economic gains, land demarcation, illegal gains through exploitation of children, entrenched gender discrimination, and discriminatory cultural practices. Rates of trafficking are frequently high in areas where there are limited job possibilities, where children have minimal education and vocational skills, and where children are living without parents or primary caregivers. Porous borders and the presence of natural disasters, conflicts further enhance vulnerability to trafficking, as does forced migration. Children without birth registration or identity documents are also faced a heightened risk of trafficking. Thus, push and pull factors of trafficking can be described as poverty, female feticide or infanticide, child marriage, natural disasters, domestic violence, unemployment, lure of job, marriage, and domestic servitude. Hope of job, marriage, demand of cheap labor, enhanced vulnerability, lack of awareness, marketing by sex traffickers for experimental sex tourism, internet pornography, organized crime for generating high profits for traffickers. On analysis of the data of the National Crime Records Bureau on crime against children, it is observed that there is spurt in the cases of crime against children since 2009. 24,203 in 2009 to 94,172 in 2015, resulting in increase of almost 300% over a period of 6 years. Deeper analysis shows that the crime rates where substantial increase has taken place in 2009 and 2015 is prostitution of minor girls, kidnapping and abduction, and selling of minors for prostitution. Thus, we need to proactively protect our children from violence and crime, to identify and plug the gaps that enable traffickers to get away, and to formulate an effective multi-sectoral action plan for combating child trafficking. Women and Child Development has also formulated a scheme, Ujjwala, to offer financial assistance to non-governmental organizations who are working in this sector. I am sure that this international conference, with its rich collective experience,
will show us the way. Collectively, we will overcome and subdue this monster. My best wishes for a very successful conference. Thank you.
Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and the 8 northeastern states. Before taking up his current assignment, Mr. Buckner was Her Majesty's ambassador to the Republic of Belarus.
Thank you very much. There are still places in the front. Please come in. Please, just come in. I've got seats that's free down here. Come and sit down because it's important we have people in here today. As ever, when you come to one of these events, a lot of things have already been said. So I'll cut the statistics. Let me just say sort of 3 main things. First of all, can I congratulate Sister Mary Ward? I'm not going to get the wrong title, apologies, but can I congratulate you on the work that you've done? I've been sitting on the dais and I've been reading this. And I have to say, before I came in, I had all this injunction about the importance of the issue and what we should do, but a lot of the answers are already in here. Fantastic production, if I may say so. I compliment you on what you've done. So to get the right name, the Colchester Mary Ward Social Centre, thank you for the work you've done. It's really good that there are so many people here today on one level because you're addressing the issue. And I think I'm sort of humbled to actually be up here because a lot of the work's been done. So I think there's experience, and there's probably much more experience than the rest of the hall that I simply can't add to. But of course, the important point is, if I can use that dreadful business word, it's time to scale up. It's time to actually do more, bring more people into this conversation. The fact that we've still got people not sitting down, the fact we still have people outside, I think is testament to probably the feeling that you all have that we need to do more about this terrible issue. So that's the first thing. Thank you for coming and sharing experience. Secondly, thank you for having us, the British, because let's be frank. There's a little bit of history here that we have. I'm not going to hide it. It's no point pretending otherwise. But I hope that we're starting to actually pay quite a lot of those dues of history. And if I may say so, I will just do the quick infomercial. My Prime Minister is a woman, as is the Chief Minister of the State of West Bengal. The priorities are sometimes slightly different than when men may be the chief ministers or the prime ministers of their states. And Mrs. May has made tackling this issue, the issue of human trafficking, a top foreign policy priority. She's advocating better international coordination to deliver the commitments made under the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And her strong view is that governments and international agencies should prioritize interventions and resources to tackle the issues. And this was pointed by our colleague from Kenya, and to support victims. There's no point doing anything if all you do is fail to address the stigma of human trafficking on victims. And in that respect, it is so important that we bring to justice those who perpetrate these crimes and exploit other human beings. They are, after all, trafficked when they're at their most vulnerable point in their lives, and generally the children, for personal and commercial gain. We should not tolerate it. I'm really pleased today that I have my colleague from Delhi, who I think I can see, Sapna, in the audience, as a sign of the commitment that we're not going to tolerate it. She is the representative in India of the National Crime Agency, which is set up to tackle organised crime. Sapna is going to be here today. Please come and talk to her. Please come and talk to me after we've had this inaugural session. I will have coffee, I will mix with people afterwards. It's important we interact more with you because I think the experience you got on the ground is fantastic. Let's do the last point. I have to say that the other agency of my government, the Department for International Development, has already done a lot of work that will help mitigate I'm not going to tell you, helps to stay in school and reduce their risk of early marriage and trafficking. I cannot say that, give that example, without also paying dues to the Honourable Chief Minister of the State of West Bengal and her programme of Kanyashri, because it's exactly the same thing. If you give people the chance, encouragement and support, particularly young people, to stay in education longer, you'll help. Stop, I think, enticements to actually be drawn in to trafficking. And then just another one, that the Department for International Development has actually worked with the ILO, Working Freedom, supporting safe migration, because people do move. And there are good reasons. They shouldn't be stopped necessarily. But you've got to allow to manage it properly. And there needs to be government capacity building at the national and state level to allow people to move into work. And through this particular programme, done with the ILO, 90,000 women have benefited from training to help them make informed migration decisions, and so reduce their chances of being trafficked. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken enough. Please come and talk to me afterwards. Please let's share this experience. Please let's have more people in the hall. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity today. I've already heard so many things that make me feel as though if we can work and support people all around the world, and just one final statistics, this is not just a four-country issue. 1,000 people in my country who are in effect being trafficked to work. And we are a reasonably rich country. If a country, I just think it gives a sense of that this is a problem we should be tackling together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner. Trafficking in persons is carried out by different kinds of traffickers, ranging from individuals exploiting their criminal groups operating across organized crime, and indeed, many trafficking outfits meet this criteria. Organized crime groups, as spelled out by the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime. May we now request Mr. P.M. Jamal Hussain, Councillor and Head of Chancellery, Deputy High Commissioner, to share his thoughts with us. Mr. Hussain.
I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to Kolkata Marriott Center for organizing such an timely and important event. It gives me immense pleasure to be here. We are discussing that chosen is a serious global issue. Consider the most concerning three issues that might be the three organized crimes: drug, arms, and third could be the human trafficking. And here we are, issue. My colleague from British, I thank him so much for his nice presentation. He has proudly mentioned that his Prime Minister is a lady. I would.
Sorry, I forgot your Prime Minister.
For third-hand information, but he has mentioned it. It is very relevant. Women and children, but comes women. For that kind of information, our Prime Minister is a lady. Leader of the opposition is a lady. Our Speaker of the Parliament is a lady. And I don't like to mention the name of the ministers of the Bangladesh Parliament who are ladies. It is a big list. Distinguished guest, you have already learned from the speakers some very valid points. You know, human trafficking in person, in brief, in short, as we call it, TIP. This is considered to be the darkest episode of population mobility. We cannot stop population mobility, but this is the darkest episode. And it has been widely considered as a major human security issue. Increasingly, people from the poor families are being forced to this new form of human slavery and the trade of human dignity. For the kind information, the government of Bangladesh, though endured huge efforts, failed to control this completely. It is very difficult because it is an international issue, cross-border issue. It's a very difficult issue. The all nations, people, and environment all face newer threats from China. Accordingly, leaving apart the traditional notions of security in persons has become one of the non-traditional security issues in the recent decades, mostly due to unprecedented scale of its phenomenon. This issue. The Constitution of Bangladesh mandates the establishment of a society based on the rule of law, justice, and respect for human dignity and the oath of all persons. The Constitution, Bangladesh Constitution bans forced and bonded labor. Article 34 of Bangladesh Constitution clearly bans forced and bonded labor. Imposes a duty on the state to prevent and suppress the constitution of human beings and guarantees a number of fundamental rights that strongly imposes duties on the state to ban human trafficking in all its forms. Government of Bangladesh is implementing a series of activities even we have moved from theory to practice. Only through the theories we can combat this heinous crime. We have to as a result of effectiveness of all motivational, preventive, and awareness building activities against human trafficking, Bangladesh has achieved commendable success in combating human trafficking in recent years. I would like to mention now. As you know, Bangladesh is a small country with huge population. This is notably affected by the organized crime called trafficking person. Bangladesh is one of the important and of this problem. Bangladesh acts as an important source and transit country for human trafficking person in Southern Asia. The main domain of human trafficking is forced labor and sex trafficking. Trafficking person is illegal, we all know, and it is difficult to find estimates of the size of this problem. However, various reports such as service reports departments and Bangladesh country reports, etc. It is growing crime global. Not only initiate a single. I would like to mention you're all aware that once upon a time sent to camel all the human activities, sports in the world. Political information, Bangladesh is just and also by trafficking monitoring at the root level, countering level, even pollution level. A very important achievement in this field is that the government of Bangladesh has adopted a clear anti-trafficking law, that is the Human Trafficking Deterrence and Suppression Act 2012 law is under this law increased number earlier it was increased number of human trafficking in Bangladesh part. Generally, and all human trafficking. Trafficking is a crime. You know, it is a heinous crime. Bangladesh is committed to, if not possible, to eliminate this problem. And she has been this through collaborative approaches involving NGOs, civil society, all concerned on this sector. I thank you.
Again, his live streaming is being watched by many people across the world, and we have been receiving messages from people from different corners of the world congratulating the efforts of the registrar. Ms. Anurna Chakraborty heads the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Prior to this, she was on the faculty of the Department of Mass Communication in various colleges of award-winning documentary film and a journalist who had issues to say a few words.
I would like to thank Sister Monica for involving me in this process. When she first came to see me a few months ago, when we were discussing this conference, I had no idea about the depth of her sincerity and commitment. And I'm very glad that the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights is collaborating with the Kolkata Mary Ward Society in this extremely important conference. I would like to start by saying that Most of the things, most of the legal aspects have already been spoken about. The laws have been spoken about, and the various things that are being done by everyone has been already stated. So without repeating what everyone has said, I would like to start by saying that I really thank God that I'm given this position to chair the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights, because as I have been working on trafficking for many, many years. When I used to go to shelter homes, when I was part of a repatriation, when I would record the repatriation, that were happening, which I wanted to change, which I felt they required change. I was given this position, and now I realize that I not only can change things, but I'm supposed to change the things. I really thank for the opportunity to do what I have really, really wanted to do, to bring about the changes that are required. The first thing that comes to my mind whenever we talk about a victim of trafficking, often a victim of trafficking is equated to sex trafficking, which is not true. As many of our previous speakers have said, trafficking happens for many reasons, for labor, for organ transplant, and so on and so forth. Earlier, also for camel racing. Only sex trafficking, if we confine our vision to only sex trafficking. I have seen the process of their rescue, the process of their of them being sent back to their original country of origin from where they had come. What struck me most was the indignity with which these girls are treated when they are rescued or when they are sent back. Unless we learn to treat people with dignity, victims of trafficking with dignity when we rescue them, then it's no point holding any conference. If we treat them with dignity, they will never learn to respect themselves. The end of trafficking does not end with just the rescue of the girl. The rescuing the victim is just one small component in addressing the issue of trafficking. The most important part is to ensure that she is not re-trafficked. And how do we do that? We do that by giving her dignity, by giving the victim of sex trafficking dignity, by treating her with respect, by giving her an alternative to what she has been doing, by allowing her to reintegrate. That is, we have to also understand the difference between migration and trafficking. I think each one of us sitting in this room, none of us can claim that all our ancestors were living where we are now living. We have all migrated, and migration is a birthright. Everyone has a right to migrate. Earlier, it was men who used to migrate, and the women used to follow. Then a time came when women also migrated on their own. Migration is the best form of migration. It is only when somebody who migrates in search of a better life, or for a better living, or for livelihood, is tricked or deceived by a trafficker, it is there that the problem starts. Now, if we discourage migration, if we discourage women especially from migrating, we are confining them. We must encourage women to migrate. We must encourage women to fulfill their dreams, their aspirations. Their potentials must be allowed to flower. We must encourage that, but we have to form systems by which their migration is safe and that they are informed.
Ms. Sandra
No, if most confident your work to do is listen. Think the exercise, the start of the process why I became a victim of human trafficking. Even though the burns happen in Indonesia, where the economic threats and religious persecution happening in my country, where Christian Catholic people got killed by people. You know, it wasn't safe for me. Everywhere, I lost my job in the bank, and I have little girls that need to be cared. She is so sweet. Her name is Tanya. Tanya was 3 years old at that time. I was a single parent because my husband passed away. But I promised to myself, because children need to be educated, the best that we can give is children, where they can be our future. If they are not educated, they don't receive education, how they will be? So I graduated from college when I was 18 years with my bachelor's degree. I was too early actually. I was smart. And then what happened? I love to eat pizza, Pizza Hut. I love to eat McDonald's. I love to eat KFC. Because in my country, it's a fancy food. You know, not the traditional food that I love, but it was a fancy food. And watching the movie, everybody watched American movie, right? What do you see in the movie? About the beautiful building, nice baby Benz car, Mercedes, all about nice thing that we can see in the movie. Oh, beautiful makeup, blonde hair. No, my hair is blonde. Actually, my hair is black. So this is what I see in the movie. So it was another dream that I come to the United States. I will meet Richard Gere, I will meet Whitney Houston, I will go to Disneyland, everywhere in my dream. When I saw an advertisement in the newspaper that said in hotel in Chicago, but the requirement, I have to pay 3,000 US dollars, a lot of money. But I was economist. Now I'm not economist anymore, but I'm a leader now. I'm a leader that fight human trafficking. So I thought, I pay 3,000, I make 5,000 a month. It means 6 months, 30,000 minus 3,000, 27 for my daughter college fund. Wow, 27,000. Good, right? In Indonesia at that moment was 17,000. The context, so a lot of money. And I thought, oh yeah, it's good. And at that moment, it is of you, because at that moment in Indonesia has no certain labor law. There is no vacation pay and many different things that need to be done. So I was on the street doing campaigns, fighting that women need to have certain things, have the facility of maternity, taking care of the baby, call sick or whatever. Because why? Who will fight for women if not women? Money will go away if I don't work. So the decision to go to the United States made. I have money, right? I was working in the bank, even though my salary was 250 a month. And I was happy that I got the job. I went to the embassy and I got the visa. Oh yes, I will go to the United States, meet with Houston, eat McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and KFC. Yeah, maybe huge airport in Indonesia is small airport, you know. So my imagination is, ooh, nice. I will go to Chicago. I was thinking New York and Chicago very short trip. Because in the map it's so short, right? Tiny. And I didn't imagine I have to fly hours to go to Chicago. This is the one that I felt happy that I trust someone. Someone had my thing. Hey, I was happy and I just said, yes, it's me. I trusted him because of he has my picture, he has a copy of my passport. How do you feel if you see someone had all your information and called you? Strange place, someone knew me and I will be safe. I'll stay Houston, reach out there, go to Disneyland, and go back home. It's not that easy. It's good to be through $5,000 a month. The movie, I trust the movie. Go to India. What I watch in the movie is singing. When I come here, I say, Calcutta, I really want to do something with Sister Monica. I just want to do something to combat human trafficking in the city. It's amazing how the movie show us the difference. We have to learn. Plus, what the presentation of the movie, of the people that told you, it's not right. It's not true. So someone picked me up and Monaco is not close, and I trusted him. And the fact many people behind me, 17 years old, I was the oldest because my body is tiny. In me, they think I was young, and I was 24 years old. Sorry about becoming a leader. In the trafficking situation, victims never think that they are victims. They don't know if they are victims. I was scared. This is not right. I was sold again. In between few hours, I was sold to the sex fire. Never deserved to be sold. I never deserved to be forced. I never deserved if the promise was false. I never deserved to be threatened by the gun. So with the gunpoint, I worked as a slave. It wasn't easy. I was drugged. No water, only alcohol down into my all the because they don't speak English. Most of them came from Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the trafficker didn't care. If you fight, you're gonna get hit, slap, and the gun always be there. The gun was symbol of the death. My neck was sliced by hunting knife. what I do at that moment, I couldn't cry. What I did was trying to survive. I have a hope that one day I will see the light. I was locked in the basement. I never see the sunlight. I become more aware was the living hope because I knew that my God is the living God. I cannot tell my friend, I cannot tell people asking help, but my trust only with my God that He gave me strength every day. Until one day, I met a lady in the brothel. She told me, "Hey, Candy," they changed my name Candy. They said Shavia is not nice. It's beautiful name that my mom gave me. Candy, if you paid off your debt, so my situation, my traffickers created a debt bondage because of he gave me the job, slavery job, to sex business. And I had to pay 30,000 US dollars for that job. How I paid off that job? One customer that bought my body will deduct $100 from 30,000. To serve. Will they let me go? I don't think so. If you sell drug only once, you sell weapon maybe 2-3 times. When you sell human body, it is 1,000, 10,000. We might die. I was thinking, I will die. And my daughter's face is dancing on my brain, on my eyes. I want to go back home for her. The strength that God gave it to me helped me to move forward my life back to another location. And that moment, I took all the girls, all young. I was the oldest. Cannot do anything if they're in the situation. They don't think. What they think is rebel, fight. And what happened? They will be abused by the trafficker. I was abused physically, sexually, mentally, verbally. I was the dog. How about children? Let's think about that. Taking care of those children in the brothel give me more strength to save them. So this lady in the brothel told me, it was another hope that I can call this number, I will work and I will make money and I will go back home for money. That's the plan. But the fact that that night after I took the girls' spray, that oh Lord just gave me a strength and salvation from the situation. Suddenly, I went to the bathroom, I saw a little window. 2 Girl Scouts in this room. I was lucky I was Girl Scout. Because I learned to survive when I was Girl Scout, I was able to open that window. Without screwdriver, without knife, what I do is with a spoon. It was amazing. So, I get everybody every year of boys and Girl Scout. Important to survive. And at that moment, my body was tiny. I was about 42 kilograms. Not like now. Now it's big. 50 something. So the window is small, right? The window is small. Big. Some of them small like me, tiny. So I told them, my English was broken English, even now still broken English. But I speak Indonesian well. So I told them I want to run away. Yes, yes, the Chinese girl, they don't know what is running away. They follow me to the bathroom, and my trafficker slept in front of the main door. So I made sure that my trafficker slept good, and I said, I go first. So I climbed the stairs. I went to that window, small window, very small, and it is too high. It was second floor bathroom window. So imagine, right? So I have to, I have my freedom. That's what the decision. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, amen. I jumped. And it was miracle that I didn't have any fracture or scratch on my skin. It wasn't me. God saved me. And the funniest thing, the 12 years old, the 15 years old, I'm not sure how old she was. She jumped on my body. It was the painful feeling at that moment because of lay down on the floor and she jumped on my body. But it was the story of how I escaped. I went back, I saw the girls holding the window. And I said, you know, when you see someone inside and you are outside, you have your freedom. You can breathe nicely. And those people inside, I was suffered outside to see them even have freedom. My promise kept bothering me when I ran to the city. I asked help to people. None of people showing me help. And I called that number. Actually, he was another trafficker, and I was re-trafficked again by this. With this young girl. I was homeless. I slept in the train. I slept in the bus. I slept in the park. You know how dangerous is that? The girl that ran away with me, is ready for me. That's it. I have to bag the food. I take the food from the garbage can. That's what my life. Until someone, angel came. US Navy that he was in vacation. And he listened to me. And what situation can help you? He called FBI, and FBI connected me to local tracing. And finally, they checked all my information, and it was like a movie, you know. I always watch American movie, right? I love American movie. It is amazing how they busted the platform. So like when you're Indian people here, you see the location raped by police, it was the situation that I saw. Reunification with all girls was a happiness. My brother got arrested and sex buyers also arrested. And it's not easy for me to survive. Because I was rejected by the community, by the society. I was rejected by my family. You are prostitute. They call me prostitute. I wasn't. I was prostituted. I was a victim. People don't understand the difference in between of whatever willing victim or victim and also people that willing to do that. understand something. Women in prostitution always get abused. Whether they are victim of trafficking, victim of abuse, they are abused. And human trafficking is a violation of human rights. I didn't know that. Since I learned of my time until I become independent is not easy. So I got the job by myself. No services available. But I believe I want to get in the jail and I have to work hard. I have a consequence. I have to be jailed. It was bad. But my ex-husband, and I didn't know actually he was an abuser. His experience as a victim of human trafficking became a daily terror for me because of he called me prostitute. So I work for him 7 days a week and I get no money at my children. This is another situation in the section in between domestic violence and human trafficking, and we heard one of the speakers. Without victim, there is no work to fight human trafficking. And it's so funny to be here because my story needs to be told. Only one from millions stories. What can we do? So many things that you can do. But again, partnership, collaboration, cooperation, media, all, and also how we prosecute the trafficker. Don't let them go. We know we have law, but how to make sure that law implemented and enforced? It's our responsibility, government, to watch those people to enforce that law so the trafficker can be jailed. If to manage them, it's hard, right, to reintegrate them because we need money, we need funding to help them. The best is prevention. How much prevention that we do? Prevention is the best to educate human modern slavery. Education, awareness need to be told. We are small in the school system. We have to change the mindset. I, as a leader, alone, because this is ability as a human being. Because we deserve humanity. We deserve respect and dignity. And we are equal. Give this opportunity time. There is resources for move forward. How them to move forward, accept in your society situation. And I am here to call each one of you to be a leader, to be a change maker in your own profession. You can do it. That's easy. Just give your time, a little energy, listen to the victim, look at the survivor, and decide what you want to do. If you are a lawyer, help them. Many things that you student. Step out from this room. Tell your friend, tell your family, human trafficking is real. It's here. Look at the children. Let's help the education. Be a volunteer. worth your money. This is such a great job that they do. I visited Sonokati with sister. I met some of the women. I met the children. I went to the center. So much that we can do. Forward to have my work here in Calcutta. My heart was crying when I sit. Imagine as a woman seeing another woman in that situation. The calling is more stronger. Visiting Calcutta, it's a blessing. So I went to mother's house. It has given me more strength to have work here. And I'm looking forward to work with Sister Monica Tim. And I'm looking forward to hear and to know you do something to fight human trafficking. Thank you.
Sandra's moving story has really left us all at a loss of words. I would like to call on stage Mr. Hriday Ghosh, the president of the Bhagadia Social Welfare, the DSWS, a charitable social welfare organization which was established in 1994. The organization works with evangelical endeavor to form a society where moral values and good principles of living would be followed. Areas on which the organization works are child protection and child rights. We would also like to call on stage a braveheart from DSWS who fought against human trafficking and is a child rights champion, Anwara Khatun. Anwara is the youngest recipient of the Nari Shakti Award, which she received this year. Leader of 80 children's North 24 Parganas. In 2012, she stood second runner-up in the Peace Prize. She was conferred the West Bengal Government State Award twice for her work against child trafficking and prevention of child marriage. She also received the prestigious She Award in 2015. Request in place of the Loreto South Asia Provincial team to kindly come to the stage to felicitate Mr. Hriday Ghosh, and may I request filmmaker and member of the West Bengal Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Thank you. Anwar will now say a few words. Anwar আমাদের কিছু কথা বলবে এখন।
মঞ্চে উপবিষ্ট সমস্ত সম্মানীয় ব্যক্তিদেরকে আমার সশস্ত্র প্রণাম জানাই এবং সামনে যে সমস্ত সম্মানীয় ব্যক্তিরা আছেন এবং ভালোবাসা জানাই। হ্যাঁ, আমার শরীরটাও খুব খারাপ, তবুও এরকম একটা প্রোগ্রামে আসার আমি সুযোগটা হাতছাড়া করে নিয়ে আমি এসেছি। তো আমি বেশি কিছু বলতে চাই না, আপনারা তো আমার সম্বন্ধে অনেক আমি আমি এত তাড়াতাড়ি কিন্তু সম্ভব হয়নি। আমি 2007 সাল থেকে কিন্তু লড়াই করে আসছি। আর আমার 2007 সালে আমার এই লড়াই যারা সাপোর্ট দিয়েছেন, সেভ দ্য চিলড্রেন বলে একটা সংস্থা আছে এবং তার সোসাইটি দাদা অন্য আমার সঙ্গে আছেন। তো ওনাদের সহযোগিতায় আমি এই পর্যন্ত আসতে পেরেছি এবং আমার এই পর্যন্ত আসার কিন্তু সরকারের কিন্তু অনেক ভূমিকাও আছে, ওনারাও কিন্তু অনেক ভাবে আমাকে সহযোগিতা করেছে। তো আমি যখন কাজের কিছু অভিজ্ঞতা যখন কিন্তু আমার সামনে অনেক বাধা অনেক বিপত্তি এসেছিল, আজকে আমি সেগুলো কাটিয়ে এসেছি। তো আমি এখন 80টা চিলড্রেন্স গ্রুপে লিডারশিপ করি, যেখানে 1500 বাচ্চা আছে। শুধু আমি আনোয়ারা একা নয়, আমার মতো আরো কিন্তু 1500 বাচ্চা আছে যারা এই লড়াইটা লড়ছে। যে চিলড্রেন্স গ্রুপগুলোকে আমরা গঠন করেছি, সেগুলোকে আমাদের একটাই উদ্দেশ্য ছিল যে ওনারা যেটা আমাদের মাথায় ঢুকিয়েছিল যে যাদের সমস্যা তারা যদি আগিয়ে না আসে তাহলে কিন্তু এই সমস্যাগুলো আমাদের সমাধান করা যাবে না। সেই জন্য করে আমাদের এই গ্রুপগুলোকে তৈরি করা হয়েছিল। তো আমরা এই গ্রুপগুলোকে নিয়ে বিশেষ কাজ করি, যেগুলোকে আজকে ট্রাফিকিং, যেটা হচ্ছে শুধু আমাদের ভারতবর্ষে নয়, সারা বিশ্ব জুড়ে এই সমস্যাটা রয়েছে ট্রাফিকিংটা। তো আমরা সেই গ্রুপে সেই কাজগুলো করি, যেমন আমরা পাচারটাকে আটকাই, বাল্যবিবাহ আটকাই, তারপরে যারা এখনো গ্রামে আছে তাদেরকে আমরা বাইরে যেতে দিই না, যারা এখনো বাইরে আছে তাদেরকে আমরা ফিরিয়ে নিয়ে আসি। আমাদের চিলড্রেন্স গ্রুপ ছাড়াও কিন্তু বড়দেরকে নিয়ে একটা কমিটি গঠন করা হয়েছে, যেটাকে চাইল্ড প্রোটেকশন কমিটি আমরা করি। ওনাদের সঙ্গে কিন্তু নিয়মিত আমাদের একটা যোগাযোগ রাখতে হয়। আমাদের কাজ করতে গেলে আমাদের কোথায় অসুবিধা হচ্ছে, আমাদের কোথায় সুবিধা হচ্ছে, সেগুলো কিন্তু আমরা ওনাদের সঙ্গে শেয়ার করি। তো আমাদের কাজের ধরনটা হলো যে আমরা কিভাবে এগুলো আটকাতে পারছি বা আমরা কিভাবে কোনো একটা ট্রাফিকার আসলে আমরা কিভাবে খবর পাচ্ছি সেটা একটু বলি। যে আমাদের গ্রুপগুলো তো এক জায়গায় কারো বাড়ি নয়, কয়েকটা পাড়া মিলে একটা গ্রাম হয়। তো সেই জন্য করে আলাদা আলাদা সবার বাড়ি। তো আমাদের এমন বলা আছে যে কাউকে যদি আমরা সন্দেহজনক মনে করি তখন কিন্তু আমরা তার কিছু যে ও কোনো খারাপ উদ্দেশ্য নিয়ে এসেছে, তখন কিন্তু আমাদের গোটা টিমটা এক জায়গায় মিলে একটা মিটিং করে নিই আমরা। তারপরে কি হয় যে যে বাচ্চার সঙ্গে ঘটনাটা ঘটতে চলেছে তখন কিন্তু আমরা সেই বাচ্চার সঙ্গে কথা বলার চেষ্টা করব। আর এই জায়গাটাই কিন্তু আমাদের খুব চ্যালেঞ্জের এবং কষ্টকর, অতজনের চোখ এড়িয়ে ওই বাচ্চাটার সঙ্গে কথা বলা এবং তারপরে তাকে বোঝানো। তো এইভাবে আমরা আমাদের কাজটা করি। অনেক সময় কি হয় যে আমরা এই কাজগুলো করতে গিয়ে কিন্তু আমরা আটকাতে পারি না, কিন্তু আমাদের চিলড্রেন্স গ্রুপদের যতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত ক্ষমতা থাকে তারা কিন্তু ততক্ষণই চেষ্টা করে যায় তারা নিজেরা সেটা আটকানোর জন্য। কিন্তু যখন তারা পারে না তখন কিন্তু তারা সিপিসি কমিটির সহযোগিতা নেয়। অনেক সময় কি হচ্ছে সিপিসি কমিটিরাও কিন্তু পারে না, তখন আমাদের পুলিশের হেল্প নিতে হয়, আমাদের চাইল্ড লাইনের হেল্প নিতে হয়। তো আমি আর বেশি কিছু বলতে চাই না, আমি শরীরটাও খুব খারাপ। তবে আমি চাই যে আজকে আপনারা যারা আছেন আপনারা যদি আমাদেরকে সহযোগিতা না করেন তাহলে কিন্তু আমরা আমাদের এই লড়াইটাকে কখনো আগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারবো না। সবাই আমাদেরকে আমাদের এই লড়াইয়ের সঙ্গী হন এবং আমাদেরকে আগিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য উৎসাহিত করেন। নমস্কার।
Anwara said that she was unwell today, but in spite of that, she thought she had to come. to share her story with everybody. She began her work in 2007 with an organization called Save the Children, and she has been helped quite a bit by Mr. Hriday Ghosh as well as the West Bengal government. In her work, she faces many obstacles, 1,500 root of the process of human trafficking. She said trafficking is a worldwide problem, and often they have to take the help of adults, and they take the help of the child protection committees, as whenever they suspect anyone, the team meets, they decide what to do, they follow the child, speak to her, and this is a very challenging job for them because they have to do it without anybody knowing. Childline as well as the police force help them a lot in their endeavor. Every day will serve so that they can move forward. The platform which has brought all of us together has given us the opportunity to honor the courage and spirit of individuals. We will now welcome another very brave woman from Justice and Care. And today she has achieved personal growth in all aspects. To come on stage and felicitate the survivor from Justice. Brave young girl, and she will speak to us about her experience, and she will also sing a song for us.
নমস্কার সবাইকে, আমার নাম সীমা, আমার বাড়ি বাংলাদেশ। অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ যে আমি এখানে আসতে পেরেছি। আপনারা করেছেন, অনেক সুযোগ দিয়েছেন আমাকে এত বড় জায়গায় আসার জন্য। আর ধন্যবাদ জাস্টিস কেয়ারকে, যিনি যারা আমাকে রেস্কিউ করে এখন ভালো একটা জায়গায় আমি একটি গান শোনাবো, আপনারা প্লিজ মন দিয়ে শুনবেন। কি করবে কি করবে পাইলে রাখবো বুকের ভিতরে বন্ধু, পাইলে রাখবো বুকের ভিতরে করি চরণ ধরি, বিনয় করি চরণ ধরি, আমায় বন্ধু করিও না আমায় দয়া নাই কি একটু মনে তোরে বন্ধু, দয়া নাই কি একটু শহীদ আমায় পাওয়ার আশে ঘুরে বেড়াই দেশে বিদেশে, মায়া কি লাগে না একটু তোরে বন্ধু, মায়া কি লাগে না একটু তোর শহীদ তোমায় পাওয়ার আশে ঘুরে বেড়াই দেশে বিদেশে, মায়া কি একটু তোরে বন্ধু, মায়া কি লাগে না একটু তোর চন্দনে দিয়া চন্দনে দিয়া সুখের বাসর সাজাইব সুখের বাসর, দয়া নাই কি একটু তোরে বন্ধু, দয়া নাই কি একটু Thank you. Siva is a very out here, but picked from us. Had given her a false hope of becoming a singer here in India. After she was trafficked, and she was here, we rescued her, and now she's in a shelter home, and we are providing her with sleeping classes, and she's teaching to other girls. She also wants to see her very fast I can go back home.
তোমার বাঙালি গান শুনে আমাদের খুবই ভালো লেগেছে। তুমি যাতে তাড়াতাড়ি বাড়ি যেতে যাও, যেতে পারো, তার জন্য আমরা নিশ্চয়ই সবাই একটু আলোচনা করবো। The keynote speaker is Shreya. She's a lawyer with expertise in marital, divorce, and property law, and has written and published numerous articles, some of which have appeared in journals like Subaltern Studies, Economic and Political Weekly, and Manushi, on the themes of minorities and the law, gender and law, law in the context of women's movement, of domestic violence, and feminist jurisprudence. She also advises the government on law implementation and currently advises the Ministry of Women and Child Development in Maharashtra. She is the co-founder of Majlis, meaning association in Arabic, a legal and cultural resource center. Majlis campaigns for and provides legal representation for women on issues of matrimonial rights, child custody, etc. Since its inception in 1990, Majlis has provided legal services to 50,000 women, many of them destitute, and has also counted as many children. May I now invite Mrs. Claudia Agnes to deliver the keynote address.
I know you're not tired. You've heard everything on the issue of this is I think of the entire whole morning, about 10 people speaking. And yet I am called upon to deliver this address. So I will try to do my best. Be seeker of truth and doer of justice. I think this one-line message tells us our role. I'm most grateful to Sister Monica, the Social Work Center, and to all those who were part of decision making for inviting me to be the keynote speaker here. I didn't want to refuse when they invited me because I always love to come to Kolkata. But I'm not an expert on trafficking. I do not work on human trafficking issues. Why I was chosen for this very prestigious event to deliver this very prestigious lecture. You must be wondering now again, she's going to say more on law because she's a lawyer. Again, she's going to rattle off some statistics from the UN, from here, from there, national, international. We have seen it in the movie, we have heard it again and again. We know, all of us know all the statistics. For example, we have to do a test when you go out, we'll be able to tell. Then what else will she speak? Because she doesn't even speak or work on this issue. I think my job is to make you think beyond what has been said here. Speaker after speaker has spoken about how prevalent this issue is. Laws are there, laws are not being implemented between traffickers and police. The shelter homes are in doldrums. There are no answers. I was really happy to hear the Bangladesh High Commissioner speaking. Mr. Jamal Hussain is not here. Actually, he said, we have succeeded in one thing. We don't have camel jockeys now, children being migrated, trapped. He said, we are a small country. We are a big country. We have big problems. But we have big resources. And yet, we cannot say one thing, yes, we have succeeded. With regard to statistics, 2005, I said the 15, I said the 17, I said. I mean, spiraling statistics. We're very happy to pass laws. We're very happy to rattle off statistics. Where the problem is, anywhere sitting here, we work on those issues. And I always wonder, for every issue, I'm here? Why are we not able to address that issue? And I think someone in the speaker said very correctly, it is that girl that matters. Prevention and rehabilitation. But these issues are linked to something broader. And we're not addressing that. We work in silos. In trafficking, we don't work on something else. We don't work on sexual violence. We don't work on domestic violence. And we work only on this, and we think we can solve this problem only by addressing it here. Issue that I did not hear. It is not even in the entire panel discussions listed out there. To this meeting, and there was a brief mention in Stuti Tucker's address. There's something like domestic violence. Have you heard this word? What are the statistics there? What are our statistics over there? That every third woman in India is subject to domestic violence, which would include many of you and many of us, victims of domestic violence. Imagine our home. Bringing her back to that village, to that family. The family who sold her in the first place. That is very good. But what beyond that? She goes home. She goes home to a very violent home. But we don't work on domestic violence. We work on domestic violence. But that's not an issue. We are in the bigger crime, sex trafficking is there, crime trafficking is there, traffickers are there, government must not, police must not. Wrong where she comes from. Staying at home. We say she was trafficked. Trafficked because she didn't want to stay at home. Option for her in that place where she is trapped. The woman also, what is trapped with that? And this is where we need to address. And we're not able to address that issue because that's a much bigger issue. We are getting into community, we are getting into families, we are getting into dynamics of marriage, the power structures between husband and wife. We do not want to disturb that. Other than the head of the family, he controls his domain, violates that and challenges it is a bad woman. Everybody must comply and sit and be there. That is a domain that you people who work on human trafficking do not touch. I've seen it in other places, I'm seeing it here. How to solve a problem? Seeing you is to listen. Keep with the we work on domestic violence. We don't work on sexual violence. Justice so they go to court and get their rights. Because we have laws and we don't our social sharing. What happened this week, what happened everybody because we work in different spaces. 2 weeks ago, a colleague who came back after 1 month vacation and she visited all the homes and she said, very nice, ma'am. You know, these girls, they're educated, their health is better, their bodies are filled up, they're not happy. I was very happy to see that. You know what the most disturbing thing that came to us this week with all fathers raping daughters. Disturbing that there are some fathers raping daughters. This was 2 weeks ago. Very young, she shared. This 4 different cases. One is 8 and 10. girls are pregnant. Why do we rehabilitate them? Where do they take them back? And to this place, they would be trafficked anyway. Because they're right for trafficking. The home environment that they live in, blind eyes. What is all the rescue and rehabilitation is all about? This is not a scene that has shaken me to such an extent. One of our victims was in a shelter home, and this was just when we were starting 3 years ago on this whole sexual violence issue. We had to meet her because she was depressed. So our social worker was going. I said, "You and I want to come with you." It's a well-run AIWC runs it. Very nice. They're in uniform. Their age is like 13 to 16. They're playing with us football. In uniform with 2 clubs. Our girl is 8 months pregnant, 9 months pregnant. She's depressed, she's not playing. I look around. There must be about 25, 30 girls. I look around. I look at one girl. I say, something amiss here. And that girl is pregnant. She's playing. So you have a body of a child. You have a face of a child. You have a mind of a child. And you have a stomach of an adult woman which is pregnant. And this girl doesn't know how to hold that stomach and how to manage her body as a pregnant woman. This girl, smaller weight, she's also running. She is also 8 months pregnant. All one by one. So why are we here? Some are toxic cases, some are not toxic cases, etc. The family does not want to accept it. They have been put away. That they will deliver. They will first 15 days. They will give away this child, and they'll come back home, and then she'll be married. Not traffic. We don't call it trafficking. Young girls. We don't want to accept what's happening to these girls in their own homes. I could not sleep for 3 nights. I worked on so many issues. I worked on communal violence. I worked on so much of sexual violence. We worked on all of them. But this side, this is what society does. And in this entire discourse, spoke about what is the home she's coming from. And most of public, but we are working in communities. We're working with families. Here, when violence happens, before it becomes a trafficking issue, shouldn't that be our concern? I'll give another example. I have just 2 or 3 examples to give you. A lot on the issue of girls dancing in the bars. It was a big campaign. It was a big legal case. We won in the High Court. And we won in the Supreme Court. There were many girls working in the bars. They were dancing in the bars. Everybody thought this is immoral and it has to be taught. And dancing equals to prostitution. And our government wanted to stop it. So there were 2 issues. One is that outsiders. Where they come from? They come from West Bengal, which is immoral. Within Maharashtra, West Bengal. Or they come from Nepal. Or they come from Rajasthan. Or they come from Madhya Pradesh. And they corrupt boys. 75,000 of them. There's another group working on child rights. there's the brothel owners, there's bar owners, and they're all expert. Girls, and see, ma'am, what we were doing was far worse. Exploiter there. And now all these people are jealous because now we're earning some money. We're able to send money home. Not to us in a certain. She's anyway modern. And we, the Maharashtrian daughters, we are not modern. She doesn't understand. A boy gets corrupt, they spend all their money here. Such money, easy money. So these, tell them now all these big fat women go and dance in the house for 6 hours and earn money. And to their stomach, they leave it of their husband and they are giving us not a lecture about what is all this. They stopped it, not legally, they stopped it to the legislature. And all these women were working so that they could put their children in English medium good schools. They had to pull all of them out. Now you come and see. Our children can be sold for 20 rupees, 30 rupees at every street corner. This is what you all wanted. Is this for you empowerment? Stop. Make conditions better for women's movements. For women to improve their lives because nothing great is happening in their villages. Homes. They have to do it. They have to market it like all of us are migrated. They have to go somewhere. Make their lives. Make it better for them. Not imprison them because that is why you will not be able to solve this problem. Exclude the problem. I'll give you another example. Very active Chief Justice. So one day it came in the newspaper that a big number of girls are trafficked and are in brothels. This is about 1995-96. Chief Justice issued a suo motu order that these girls should all be rescued. What did the police do? They went and visited all the homes which are government aided and said how many beds you have, how many beds you have. Like 500 beds. Leaders, whether they were minors or majors, did not matter. Because the government had to act because the Chief Justice decided. Some are run by Christian and some are run by other organizations. And they also run schools, they had to be put in school. All the other parents stopped sending their children to school. These girls. And they used the word like this is a captive audience. We can do all kinds of tests with them. AIDS test, this test, tuberculosis, whatever. So every day they would be taken to a public hospital, kept their body. Gone there, and the nuns did not want to waste their afternoon lunch. So they would give them in the night. And the girls would refuse to eat and just throw the food. So that neither the nuns could manage, nor the social workers could manage, nobody could manage these girls. 3 girls died. 3 girls committed suicide, another thing. And the end decision is, we must send them back. Where should we send them back? They come from Karnataka, send them back to Karnataka. They come from West Bengal, send them back to West Bengal. They come from Nepal, send them back to Nepal. Nepal to where? Bring them. We as a place of migration, we are not accepting them. Nobody is accepting them, but our problem is solved. We have rescued 500 women and we have cleared their brothels. Our work of anti-trafficking, certain moral principles. It is one of the agency of the girl to change her life. It's not based on the situation back in the village from where she has run away. And somehow we have of sexual. And then I mentioned that happens. I want to say marital rape is a reality every night. What law do you bring about? You're talking about a fancy upper class. You see the statistics of marriage. That about 50% of our girls are married when they are before 18. And every marriage results in a rape. Under 18 or over 18. But girls accept it. But that happens. There is big breaking of happens. At the end of it, a girl runs away. If she's a widow, she runs away. If she's a divorcee, she runs away. Subjected to violence, she runs away because she doesn't know what else to do. Our friend over there said that you want to better your prospect. That's why you leave. But you don't know where to leave. You don't know how to. You are vulnerable. You know that this is bad. I need to do something better. But there are no vehicles to make your life better. And the police investigation at the airport, at the train station, to push them back. And their only aim is to escape from there and come to that place of liberation. And that is where the exploitation actually begins. So I urge you to look at this issue in a much wider context. Do not be narrow in your perspective. Unless you root it in marriage dynamics, in the village dynamics, in the communal dynamics, in the issue of sexual violence, in the issue of incest. And unless we are able to provide a support base, we will not be able to address this. Thank you. And very important for India. You know, in India, Indian wealthy people who come in that post index, this year we crossed 100. We're about 105 today. 10, 50, 40. People are getting richer and richer in India. But if you see that basic index, we were like 1.1, then it came 1, now we have less than 1. Large number of families are poor, communities are poor, villages are poor. Government going programs going well, our poor are getting poorer. When they are poor and when they get poorer, the girls is the only thing they have to sell. There was family for 3 years, 3 consecutive years. Famine and then good and buying seeds too slow. But you know what happened at the time? Farmers did not have cows. Their cows ban came. A ban came, he said, stop their girls, and suddenly they said, we can't sell our cows, so we're selling our daughters. They're offering our daughters. So daughters have become so devalued. Cows have no value in the market. We can't do anything with the cows. At least girls we can dedicate. So somebody buys these girls and we can get some money. Is it trafficking? So the girl is a dedicated temple. How many times we have to address this issue? This is just giving you the confidence that issues that are coming up today. And one of the journalists said in a very good, he came and he spoke about the old agency. But now 3 years, there's no grain they afford to eat. We have to offer this girl as a temple prostitute. We have laws, we have everything in place. And this is the as many said, who are victims themselves, and see around you, not in this conference room. Go on the street and see. Think deeply. Don't go by the rhetoric. budget proposal of the international representative work. No, you know what you want to do. Maybe what you do is not so revolutionary. It is small steps. But these are important steps, and you have something. I will make code function better. Just have a small goal. Today, but it's not going to help those women and that community or those children whose lot we have to improve. So my question of address is to have linkages, to bring more issues into this basket so that together we can find a solution and not work in silos. Thank you.
For your very insightful address, where you have brought out a much wider angle and said, I think we have to all work together to improve the lives of so many people. Professor Joydev Mujumdar, revealing the 2-day event. Professor Joydev is the Executive Director of the Vidyasagar School of Social Work, affiliated to the Vidyasagar University. He is a noted expert in the areas of child rights and protection. Years of experience in the field of social development, with specialization in child rights and child protection, in drafting the state rules of many important child protection laws. We invite Professor Joydev Mujumdar to give us an outline of what is expected over the next 1.5 days, and may I request the members on the dais to sit in front.
August audience, many activists from various fields, from various countries, own state. They are all to commemorate. We all congratulate for choosing the theme of trafficking, and also for Kolkata as a state. This is a problem. And Kolkata also. Our government is also very active. That develop state kind of action. You can see
the first session, there will be 3 parallel sessions. Each session printed by well, profound understanding experience in this issues as challenges, medical, social, economic practice we discussed. The panelists are there. To Pandey, Director Anay Rahiti, Madam is already here. Assam State Commission for Protection of Child Rights Chairperson, Sandra. We have all heard speaking. Camille, we share more these in Balajas Law School, Pune. It will be the first, it will be 1 parallel session. The second session will be moderated by Rup Shen, working this discipline since a very long time and has an international exposure too. This session is basically on cross-border trafficking, from which these states particularly suffers. This venue for this session, the Original Chamber Gallery, I mean the program schedule is already with you. There is strong justice and care. Salman Ali, a noted personality in the field of human trafficking in Bangladesh and Southeast Asia. Bikram Sharma from BSF, SN Sharma, Commandant, Deputy Commandant from BSF, and Pavan Gupta and Vedanta Kukreja from Symbiosis Law School. And third session today is a very important session, that is climate change, disaster, post-movement. To read one of the speakers, the forced labor, Ravi Kant from Shakti Bahini. Ravi Kant is a noted exponent and advocate in Supreme Court, and he has been influencing the policies as a organization. Apurupa Mary Soren from National Law University Delhi and Martin Mondol, Oxford, India. So altogether these agents together, and I will if you session will be ending, this is what I, some people are frequently changing other home. Problems are you have to, but not. I've seen it. Second day, tomorrow, Sunday, it starts at 9:30. It's a cyber crime. It's an issue. It's first coming up. It will be moderated by Mahesh Menon, Professor Mahesh Menon. Actually, he is a key person and a person behind for organizing the seminar. And the other panelists are Saeed, Video Strategy, and Karia. The second session will be on survivors for justice rehabilitation and reintegration. It will be moderated by Sarfraz Khan from NUGS. Madam will be there for our chairperson, Madam Aruna Chakraborty. She will be the lead speaker. Chitra Iyer, Junaid Khan, Ramin Queen, the PhD research scholar, we congratulate him. Nina Gracia Lorenet from Spain. The third session moderated by, that is on unsafe migration, armed conflict displacement, it by Madam Rajesh Smile, another big name and a big figure, big personality in our country. The other panelists, Himanshi from IOM, Ananda Madam, Ananda Bhattacharya from Bangladesh platform, Mananda from AXEC, Jane Francos, and Theo Budi Prestio. She's also from Indonesia, and Anushika Khamsan, Boris Kumar from Chetanala, New Delhi. Followed by lunch, we'll have three more sessions. So we'll be three more sessions, one on human trafficking, will be moderated by Ruchira Goswami. The second one is the role of NGOs. They have many good practices. What are they doing in different parts of the country, in other countries that we need to learn, if we're learning exercise, that will be moderated by me. And the third session will be on best practice models. It will be moderated by Sharvani Das from Justice Care. She is also one of the key players in organizing the conference. It will be addressed by one very prestigious person from University of Michigan. She is here today, and we are eager to hear her out. Chancellor Engineers, you will also be here. Royal University Odisha Vice Chancellor Professor Rao will also be here. Brendan Egan, General Counsel, Rome, and Diana Global Network, and lastly, the whole session of the what transfers into 1.5 day will be and Director Monica will make the final one. So this is all about the 2 days program. Lunch will be followed by this session. Everything is given. On behalf of the conference committee, I would request to be on the timeline. We are already behind 15-20 minutes the timeline. In Bangalore, that is enjoy Kolkata staying. It's the cultural capital of Kolkata. Enjoy staying here.
Thank you, Professor Mojumdar. We are almost at the close of the inaugural ceremony. I request all of you to definitely visit the gallery, and may I request everyone to stand for the national anthem.
जनगण अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय 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 जय
Ladies and gentlemen, may we request you to kindly join us for lunch in the atrium upstairs. The staff of KMWSC will be around to escort you to the lunch area. And for any other assistance, you can contact KMWSC or the staff of Justice. Thank you.